need to get your ducks in a row fast. And I mean ASAP. No more waiting around, no more indecision. The time to take action is now. And I'll be telling you why for two reasons. There are two main reasons why you need to be taking action right now and what coin you need to buy. So, the coin you need to be buying is Bitcoin. Now, there are two reasons why. The first reason is because of the history of Bitcoin. What do I mean by this? Well, if we hit the 5-year, or let's go to the all-time chart just to make it a little more friendly. If we hit the all-time chart, you may notice an interesting pattern, and that is that Bitcoin has only gone up. Now, some people may look at this pattern and think, okay, so it goes up now, but what's saying it won't go up in the future? Now, I understand what you're saying because, especially back here in 2022, you're right, it did go up and have a significant push to the upside, and then it went down, and then a push to the upside, and then it went down, and then another push to the upside until we are at the levels we are at. But more than just looking up, down, up, down, up, down, let's look at the prices. Let's say you bought the peak at $58,000. It drops to $35,000 and you don't sell, but then it goes to $60,000 and you buy again, and then drops all the way down to $16,000. Now, let's assume you haven't sold anything, and the only two times you bought were at $58,000 and $60,000. Now, let's see how much money you'd be down, because the current price of Bitcoin is $104,000. Guys, you would not be down. No matter when you bought crypto in the past, you would never be down. I can guarantee you that if you have bought crypto within the past month, 2 months, 3 months, that it is going to go up. And that's just the history of crypto. Now, does it go up overnight? No, it does not always go up overnight. Is it always a clean break to the upside? No, it is not always a clean break to the upside, which is why you need to look at when to buy, when to sell. I actually have videos on this in my channel on when you should be buying and when you should be selling, and the top points that you should be looking at, the top indicators. Now, the second thing we're going to look at on why you should be buying Bitcoin is because it's going to explode. I talked about the first point is it's going to go up. Just buy Bitcoin because it has a history of going up. This second reason is going to be a little more lengthy, we're going to go a little bit deeper into what exactly do I mean by it's going to explode. Why do I speculate this? Well, the reason I say it's going to explode is because let's look at traditional investments. What happens? Well, let's look at gold, for example. With gold, the nations found out about gold. Nations bought heavy quantities of gold. We're talking about governments got gold. This is since the beginning. And then after that, then companies that had the capital were able to get gold and were able to collect gold mainly from the government or start their own companies mining gold. And then after that, what was left, the little scraps, is what you and I got, is what the consumer got. They were able to buy from the company who then purchased or sold to the government. You can see that it's a pyramid, and we are all the way at the bottom, and we're all the way at the top in regards to when it was purchased. First the governments, then the companies, and now we're at the top. But Bitcoin is the exact opposite. The consumers are down here at the bottom. We are the base. Then it's the companies. Then it's the nations on top. Now, what is the significance of this? Why is it so important that we got in before nations and even before companies? The reason is capital. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't have $500,000 to spend on Bitcoin right now. But there are companies and there are nations that do have that type of capital, which is why if I get in now with my 10, 20, or even $30,000, even just $1,000, If I get in now, then over time, it's going to go up. Now, once companies start getting in, it moves very fast. Why do I say this? Well, let's look at MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy moved very fast. They've been buying tons of Bitcoin. I'd recommend you look into Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy and what exactly they've done. And it's a very eye-opening story to how he's doing it and the strategies he's implementing. Basically, his strategy is just buy Bitcoin because it's going to go up over time. And he's been proven right. He's made the company tons of money just from buying Bitcoin. And the crazy thing is, when you buy Bitcoin, the price goes up. So if you buy a large enough quantity, then it keeps going up, meaning your previous buy now made you money. So it's a never ending cycle once you start buying these huge amounts. Now, nations are trying to get into Bitcoin. The nations are like a very, very slow tank. They are very powerful, but it takes a lot of momentum to get them going. I'll say that again. They're very powerful, but it takes a lot of momentum to get them going. What do I mean by this? Well, the US, President Donald Trump wants to create a Bitcoin reserve for the United States. Now, this will shoot the price of Bitcoin up super high because the US is not going to buy 10 or even $100,000 worth of Bitcoin. We're talking about hundreds, potentially millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin that is going to be purchased all at once. And I'll get into the impact of this in a little bit. But point being, they're going to buy tons at once. They're going to buy tons of Bitcoin all at once. But it does take a little bit of time for them to actually pull the trigger, for them to actually make sure that they're going to buy it, and that's a move they want to do. So before that the US can get in, there are states inside the United States that are trying to get in, like Arizona. Arizona is trying to set up their own Bitcoin reserve so that once the US buys Bitcoin, then their Bitcoin goes up. But if you've been listening to me in the past and if you've been looking at the charts, then you would have bought in before Arizona even buys in and before the US even buys in. This is never ending cycle where if you buy in now before these big nations buy in, you are guaranteed to make money because it is going up eventually. Now, the second part of the buying is the selling. Companies or even big whales, they buy, see tons of profits, and sell. But in regards to a country, you cannot just do that. You can't just buy and sell within the same hour, within the same day. Legislation has to get passed, it has to be voted on. There's tons of stuff that has to happen in order to sell. So a major event has to happen in order for it to sell, which means you don't really have to worry about the whales dumping on you, aka the nations dumping on you, because you will have heard it you will have heard news of them wanting to sell. You will have seen legislation trying to get passed of them trying to sell. That being said, now is the time to get into crypto for two reasons. One, looking at the history, it's going to go up. And two, nations and countries and states are all trying to get in. So if you buy in now before they do, price is guaranteed to go up and they take a while to sell. So the price will more than likely stay up. All that being said, I will see you guys next time. Adios.